When they play, nobody wants to be a coach. I don't have one that during their career they tell me, oh, I'm going to be or I want to be. So it's always unexpected because nobody tells you one day I want to be. No. But I always tell them, do the badges, do the coaching courses, have your education, because maybe one day you want to be, no, I don't want. But in the end, they come. So it's always unexpected because they don't. But I would say that Xabi Alonso, his father was a manager. So he grew up similar to me. He was born with the father player. He grew up with the father manager. Then he became a player, of course, much better than I was. Then he became a player, a top player. His position on the pitch and his knowledge of the game very high. And then he played in Spain, in England, and in Germany. And he was coached by Guardiola in Bayern, by myself in Real Madrid, by Ancelotti in Real Madrid, by Benitez in Liverpool. So I think if you put all this together, I think Xavi has conditions to be a very good coach.
Mourinho once said it without hesitation. Xabi Alonso was born to coach. Back then, it sounded like a polite compliment. Today, it feels like prophecy. Because the quiet conductor has become the man pulling every string at Real Madrid. And already the pressure is boiling. Madrid are winning, yes. The table smiles on them. But inside the headlines, a storm brews. Vinícius Jr is being rotated, benched some nights, substituted on others. The fans ask why. The pundits stir the pot. And Alonso? He doesn't flinch. His response is cold and sharp. No untouchables, not even stars. Mbappé might be on fire, Militão might be scoring, but every player knows the same truth. Play by the rules or sit. This is the collision of two realities. A coach who built an invincible machine in Germany, and a club where reputations roar louder than results. And the question is simple. Can Alonso bend Madrid to his philosophy without breaking its biggest names? But that wasn't the whole story. Xabi Alonso's strength isn't just what he achieved on the pitch. It's what he absorbed. Few players in history have lived inside so many football schools of thought and taken pieces of all of them. From Mourinho, he carried the fire of verticality. Win it, break lines, punish instantly. Mourinho's Madrid thrived on that heartbeat, and Alonso was the one pulsing it from midfield. That clarity, the idea that football is decided in seconds, not minutes, still defines his teams today. From Guardiola, he stole anticipation. The art of reading the game before anyone else. The patience to set traps. The rhythm to dictate possession without smothering creativity. Guardiola sharpened his eyes, and Alonso never stopped seeing those patterns. And from Ancelotti, he took something less visible but maybe more valuable. Calm authority. The ability to manage stars without noise. To simplify ideas so even egos feel like part of the whole. Ancelotti taught him that control isn't just tactical, it's emotional. What emerged from this cocktail wasn't imitation, it was a toolbox. Alonso never chained himself to one philosophy. He collected them, refined them, and forged a style that feels flexible yet unmistakable. Organized without being rigid, aggressive without losing elegance. That's why his football doesn't look like anyone else's, it looks like his. And nowhere was that clearer than in Germany. When Alonso arrived at Bayer Leverkusen in October 2022, the club was drowning. Confidence shattered, the team drifting toward the bottom of the table, and doubts everywhere. Few believed a rookie manager could steady the ship, let alone change its course. But Alonso didn't walk in promising miracles. He promised something more dangerous. Clarity. Within weeks, Leverkusen played with a new edge. They pressed with hunger, their passes had intent, and suddenly the team that looked broken was climbing the table again. By the end of his first full season, the impossible was unfolding. Leverkusen weren't just winning, they were rewriting history. In 2023/24, they became Bundesliga champions for the first time ever, and they did it unbeaten. Not even Bayern Munich, with all their wealth and dominance, had managed that. And Alonso didn't stop there. He added the DFB Pokal, completing a domestic double that no one thought Leverkusen could ever touch. And then came the streak. 51 games unbeaten across all competitions. 51. They finally fell in the Europa League final to Atalanta, but by then the myth was already alive. Alonso had taken a team known for choking in big moments and turned them into a machine that looked untouchable. May 2025. The Bernabeu had seen enough. After back-to-back humiliations against Barcelona and a season where the team looked like shadows of itself, Florentino Perez made the move everyone was whispering about. On May 25, 2025, Real Madrid officially announced Xabi Alonso as their new head coach, signing him until June 2028. This wasn't just another appointment. This was Madrid putting their crown into the hands of a man who had proven he could turn ruins into empires. A man who had conquered Germany unbeaten, lifted a double, and made the football world believe in Leverkusen. But this wasn't Leverkusen. This was Real Madrid, a club that doesn't measure success in progress or style points. It measures it in trophies right now. And Alonso inherited more than a team. He inherited the ghosts of Zidane and Ancelotti, men who built dynasties on the same bench he was now sitting. For Madrid, the message was clear. We don't want promises. We want silver. For Alonso, the challenge was even clearer. Prove that his football, his philosophy, could survive the weight of a club where reputations roar louder than patience. And from day one, he made it clear. This wouldn't be a copy-paste job. When Alonso walked into Valdebebas, everyone expected him to bring the same 3-4-3 blueprint that had torn Germany apart. But Madrid is not Leverkusen. The squad, the culture, the DNA, it demanded something different. And Alonso knew it. So instead of forcing a system, he bent his ideas to the badge. Madrid often line up with a back four, but in possession, the shape morphs. Tchouaméni drops deep, creating a back three for stability, while the fullbacks push high to stretch the field. Carreras on the left offers constant thrust, while Carvajal remains the warrior leader on the right. The transitions are fluid, rigid on paper but alive on the pitch. The midfield is where Alonso stamps his signature. Distances are short, the tempo is sharp, and possession isn't about racking up passes. It's about cutting lines. One touch too many is one touch wasted. He's reprogrammed Madrid's rhythm. Play vertical, recover instantly, suffocate the moment the ball is lost. And at the base of it all stands Courtois. For Alonso, stability starts with the giant between the posts. With him, Madrid can take risks further up the pitch, knowing the back door is locked. At Madrid, tactics are only half the battle. The other half lives in the dressing room, where names carry weight, egos breathe louder than tactics, and one wrong decision can split the squad in two. Alonso knew this from day one. And that's why he dropped the hammer early. No untouchables. Vinícius Jr., one of Madrid's brightest lights, has been rotated, benched, and even subbed in matches where fans expected him to be the hero. The debate exploded in the media. Why limit a player producing goals in chaos? But Alonso's message was clear. This is not about one man's rhythm, it's about the collective heartbeat. Meanwhile, Mbappé has been unleashed, finally playing with freedom and showing why he's considered the best in the world. But even he has been warned. Rotations will touch everyone. If you don't press, if you don't fight, you sit. Names don't win minutes. Behaviors do. This approach reset the hierarchy. The tension between Vinícius and Mbappé for leadership dissolved because Alonso made it obvious. The only leader here is the shirt. Younger players like Franco Mastantuono and Gonzalo Garcia have felt that opportunity. Veterans have felt the edge. The atmosphere shifted. If you want to understand Alonso's Madrid, don't look at the goals. Look at the midfield. That's where his fingerprints are carved deepest. Aurélien Tchouaméni has become more than a destroyer. Under Alonso, he often drops between the center backs, turning Madrid's build-up into a disguised back three. It stabilizes the first pass, buys time, and lets the fullbacks fly forward. He's not just a shield anymore, he's a compass. Beside him, Federico Valverde plays like he's got 7 lungs, covering the width, pressing high, then appearing in the box at the perfect moment. Alonso trusts him because he embodies the rule. Never stop moving, never stop giving. And then there's Arda Güler, the Turkish gem Alonso chose as his creative hub. Still young, but playing like a veteran conductor. He breaks lines, finds spaces before they open, and connects directly with Mbappé. Every through ball feels like a coded message only those two understand. Finally, Jude Bellingham, returning from injury, has been slotted closer to goal. His late runs, his gravity in the box, they add another layer to Madrid's attack. With Güler threading passes and Bellingham ghosting into dangerous areas, Madrid's midfield doesn't just control tempo, it manufactures chances. Together, this quartet is Alonso's brain trust. Structured, flexible, and devastating when the rhythm clicks. It's not a midfield built for possession stats. It's built for killing games. At Real Madrid, the line between genius and disaster is paper thin. Rotation feels bold when you're winning. It feels reckless the moment results slip. That's the knife edge Alonso has chosen to walk. Because in Madrid, patience doesn't exist. One bad week and the debate reignites. If Mbappé goes cold, if Vinícius stays sidelined, if trophies don't arrive, the very rules that built unity will be framed as arrogance. And Alonso knows it. That's why he repeats the same mantra. The collective above everything. No player, no ego, no headline is bigger than the club. But here's the difference. He's lived this pressure before, just not as a coach. He understands the weight of the shirt because he wore it. He understands the chaos of the Bernabeu because he survived it as a player. And now he's shaping it with his own hands. And that's why every match feels bigger than 3 points. It's not just about goals or rotations or lineups. It's about whether Alonso can take the chaos that swallows so many and turn it into the order of a dynasty.